and welcome to Daytime Talk After Dark. My name is Al Jackson, but that is unimportant. What is important is that I'm joined by two of my favorite people on the planet. Tori, dressed like Dolly Madison.
Okay.
I like it.
It's not what Dolly Madison looked like at all.
Yes, it is.
Dolly Madison was in the 1700s.
Yeah.
Oh, you say I look like I'm in the 1700s?
Go with that. But like a rich woman that like goes to a boutique, but there's still like horse poop out in front of her.
Okay, but like, you know she saved the famous George Washington portrait as the White House was burning. No. We have Dolly Madison to thank for the George Washington portrait. Okay. She literally tore it down from the wall. Now, she was
ruined
also
it.
No, she didn't. She was the sixth first lady, so it wasn't like that far away from George Washington.
So really,
they knew each other, you know.
Okay, so it's just like grabbing a photo of like your brother that's in Connecticut.
Yeah.
Okay. Erica.
Yeah.
Down there in all your jean jacket loveliness.
This jean jacket has just become a part of me. I bring it everywhere. I don't know. It's just something about a jean jacket.
Are jean jackets in the, I would say, in the same stratosphere as like sundresses?
Yes.
And tennis shoes, where they're just things that are popular. They really don't go in or out of style.
Well, yeah, I think it's a consistent thing, a staple to have. But also, this is like my going through the airport attire. I'll generally put on a kitten heel. Oh. I get very dressed up to go to the airport.
I do too.
Yeah.
I get dressed. I'm not wearing pajamas.
Well, I wore a suit to the airport last week, and I swear I got much better treatment.
Yeah.
They do say they will treat you better. It's true. My mother was always appalled at what I wore in the airport.
What would you wear?
Like, I went, like really baggy sweatpants with a tight tank top. And she's like, you look like trash. Judy was really sharp with her words.
That's, and clearly it stuck with you.
Yeah. Now I do dress up more because I don't want to be trash. Goals.
Well, this is going to sidetrack us, pun intended by what I'm about to say now. But when I was in Chicago last weekend, the show that I did, there was this comic duo that went on before me, and they made jokes about local Chicago things. And they both were talking about, and it was really interesting, at O'Hare, they're opening a bar called Sidetracks, which is the first gay bar in an airport.
No way.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Wait, that's amazing.
So amazing. Also,
So
it's
smart.
amazing because O'Hare has, for it to be one of the largest airports in a major city.
That's awesome.
The food and bev offerings are minimal. Midway has usurped O'Hare, and Midway isn't even an international airport.
I'm going to push back.
What?
One of my favorite sandwich places in the country is at O'Hare.
What is that?
It's called Poblano.
You're making that up.
No, they sell tortas. Michael Dean, can you look that up? They sell tortas at O'Hare Airport. I had my mom go there when she was passing through. Now, I don't know about the food courts I will give you are lacking. Very. But Poblanos or whatever that place is called.
Are you saying
well,
Poblanos?
Because that's in the food, like that's in that little food court corridor.
No, it's almost like
Pronto sandwiches.
What's it called?
Pronto,
that's it.
Wow, that was really different.
Isn't that a chain?
Yeah.
Yes, they're a chain.
And it's not that good.
It's good. It's a good torta.
See, here's the thing. O'Hare has an amazing
I'm
food
sorry, there's
court.
not enough mom and pops at the airport for Tori.
No. Well, no, there are mom and pops because there's Billy Goat Tavern, which is historic in
Love
Chicago.
that name. Love that name.
The cheeseburger from SNL.
Said it nice. They had to say it twice.
Yeah, that's
You're gonna let
all
that go?
from. Well, I was assuming it was an SNL reference.
Yeah, but she said it nice. They said it nice.
But so they do have good food, but there's not like an area. Like I like to sit down. They have a Tuscany in there. Anyway, I'm very happy about this
before because you like to have a full meal at the airport.
She does.
I do.
You go to Elway's.
She goes
here
to Elway's.
in Denver.
That's right.
Yes.
I don't want to have a T-bone steak before I get on a flight.
I do, because what if you're landing late and then you're like, then you get really desperate about what you're going to eat. And it's a great way
to Erica.
Just kick off a nice vacation because
point.
you get there early. You know you're not going to miss your flight.
You have a couple drinks.
Yeah, and you have your T-bone.
What about lounge food? Are you okay with that?
Like if you're in the
Like-
Delta Lounge
Right,
thing.
or
All right, let's be. Not
I
everyone's in the
don't
lounge.
love lounge food. There's really nothing to love about lounge food.
Wow.
It's
There
just-
is. It's free.
It's not free. You're paying for
Oh,
it.
good call. Point 2 for Erica.
Well, no. Here's my argument for the lounge.
Okay.
If you fly at least twice a month, I would say the lounge, which is $500 for the year, is a better deal because you eat when you get to the airport, a full dinner or whatever you want, free drinks. Then when you land, Tori, you can go to the lounge again in that city.
point
So
for
you paid
Al.
for lunch and dinner.
Point for Al.
On the road, which is where you spend a ton of money.
Okay.
So if you fly on a Friday and come back on a Sunday, you've paid for 2 of your out of town meals.
Wow, that's a really big point.
So that's my argument for the lounge, as I will defend it until the day I die.
Okay. Wow.
So
What a weird hill to die on.
it is
The airport lounge.
Al was a man of conviction.
Yeah.
But speaking of convictions, a lot of people swear by their summertime drink.
Yeah.
That's right, and that's what we're about to do right now because Erica, I was informed by our executive producer Michael Dean that we will be making drinks on the show. So I went to the grocery store
Yes, you did.
and I bought some booze, which I haven't done in a long time.
yeah, I was
you.
like the sober man buying
Yeah,
the booze.
I
Yeah.
should have been the one
I just want to relapse just to make you guys feel bad.
for this segment.
Look what you did.
He's not sober for this. By the way, it's called the
Me
spicy.
declining my kids' phone calls.
We find you at the strip club. Al, no. It's called the spicy.
It's the Savi B.
Spicy Savi B, right? Okay, thank you.
Yes.
And it's frozen jalapenos
Uh-huh.
Yes.
and
He
white.
also chopped those.
You did?
I chopped them, yes.
And white wine.
Yeah.
Sauvignon Blanc.
Oui,
Okay,
si je
we're
parle
gonna pour
français,
this up.
je voudrais un Sauvignon Blanc.
Okay. And while,
Al's having a sparkling water.
Yes, he
yes,
is.
I got, let me,
Can I be honest? If you go and order a Pinot Grigio, I don't know. If you order Sauvignon Blanc, I appreciate you. Or Sauv Blanc, I
wait,
appreciate you.
what,
It's don't get like a Chardonnay. I prefer Sauv Blanc.
okay.
I prefer Sauv Blanc.
I really do.
Tori, will you hit me with some jalapenos?
Do set yes.
All right. Do you want 2 or 3? That's
Oh
3.
my god.
I'm going 3.
You shouldn't have Tori do something like this. It's spicy and I'm clumsy. Oh boy.
There we go.
Okay.
Don't put your or fingers
Yeah,
in
you put your finger
eye.
or anywhere else.
I
Hint,
don't
hint.
put my finger in my eye a lot.
How many do you want?
I'll put 2.
And Tori, while you're doing this, just the way you said Sauvignon Blanc, I told the story before we got started that before the internet, I was talking about when people couldn't spell. They used to have to buy a dictionary to go to college. How old am I? I should have gone to college on horseback. But you used to have to
With
buy
me, Dolly
Madison. Yes, with Dolly Madison holding the American flag over her shoulder. But yeah, I called Barnes and Noble because I had to buy a dictionary, and I was like, "Hello, do you guys have a Colligate dictionary?" And the one was like, "Excuse me." I was like, "Colligate dictionary. Do you guys carry that?" And she goes, "Do you mean collegiate?" And I hung up. Because I was like,
As you should.
you can't keep, like, I got to go. Why are we going to Barnes & Noble 40 miles outside of our home? I've ostracized one of them. So,
Yes. The
yes.
other one is the one. Someone else said that manslaughter they thought was man's laughter until like 25 years.
I could
All
see
right.
that.
So we're gonna try this drink of the summer. Now
Spicy
these
Sauv.
these jalapenos chopped by Al are frozen because that's a key to it.
Yes.
So
Oh, okay, gotcha.
cold Sauv Blanc,
Okay.
frozen jalapenos. Cheers.
Okay.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers to good health.
Cheers.
L'chaim. Do you guys know how to say that?
I didn't even take a sip. The jalapenos are gangsta. I think I
don't
forgot to
taste
take
them at all.
I think I forgot to take the peppers out of them.
No, you
Whoa.
take
The peppers out of the
The
jalapenos.
seeds.
Yeah, you forgot. That's the whole point.
Okay.
Yeah.
I ate a seed. Is that bad?
Depends on how many.
Okay.
It has a kick to it.
It does.
Yeah.
This would be really good. I would like this with a plain spirit like vodka.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
you mean the jalapeno and the vodka?
Yeah.
Now that I would have liked too.
Right. You know where that'd be really good at brunch.
Yeah, that's true. Nice and clean.
Mhm. Make
I
yourself
also
a
think
nice
if you're
little-
in a hot area, this would be nice.
If
A
you like a
spicy-
kick. This is a
Spicy
spicy.
Sauv Blanc.
Yeah.
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 If
I
it's
can get
hot
down
out.
with this. I
Yeah.
can get down with this. Generally, I put frozen grapes in my
I think
Sauv
that's
BB,
very, very sexy. I think
but
that's so
this,
sexy.
I could get down with this too.
Am I the only person that thinks like grapes are great, but raisins are the worst thing that's ever happened to this country?
I think a lot of people feel that way.
Raisins are so gross.
You know what someone said once in a movie? That raisins are humiliated grapes.
Okay, let's get this show back on the road.
All right, speaking of on the road, Erica.
Yeah.
We have a clip that we are going to show, and this is of we don't have the
We
clip?
do not
I
have
think
a
it's just
clip.
gonna be a still.
Okay. Well, an 81-year-old Italian man accidentally drove down a 135 step staircase before getting stuck.
It reminds me of the Steve Carell, The Office, where he says turn left and he goes right into the water.
Yeah. It's bad.
Aw.
And I think that's the right reaction after laughter.
Aw.
I saw this and I thought to myself, this is funny sad, and it's sad
Oh,
when you
wow.
have to
It's just sad.
look, this is part of life.
Yeah.
Look, we all want to be 81. We all want to live as many summers as we can, but the price to pay for that is like you lose some of your acumen driving, your memory goes. It's going to happen to everybody. It's part of the aging process. So have you guys ever had to tell somebody that you love and respect that you don't know if they should be doing a particular thing that they've always done?
I had to tell my grandparents to stop driving. It was hard. Yeah, go ahead.
Well,
No, how did
is
that
My
there-
mother
conversation
did it,
go?
and it's very, very hard because dignity is at the forefront.
Right.
It's your way to travel, your way to be independent. It's a life sentence at the end. You know, that's a signal of the end. And I think it really is about dignity, and about you're telling me I'm no longer capable of something like driving is very. It's just hard on your dignity, I think.
I
and
hope
your
people.
pride.
I hope people remember what you just said, because that's so important. I think people go into it like, I got to tell grandma to stop driving.
Yeah,
and it's
that's-
about her dignity. It's not
Yeah.
about the act of what
Her
she's
act-
doing. It is,
well-
but the dignity should be first. That's a great point.
It's also
Thank you, Al.
It's also a bit counterintuitive to like human nature, because whoever's delivering that news to a person in their elderly years was likely the person that elderly person
Wow.
shepherded through life. So
And
that
maybe even
is
taught them
a-
and
to
taught them
drive.
to drive is what I thought you
right.
said. That's right.
So it's like it's a change in the dynamic, you know.
Totally.
Obviously this is a sad story. I mean, the optics do look crazy, and I can understand why people, you know, are laughing at it. So also it's Italy, and apparently it's not as easy to drive there. My
streets
I
husband
lived in Italy for a year. It's
Yeah.
very difficult.
my husband took his parents to Italy like 10 years ago, and I got a call that was so harrowing. They almost ended up in the ocean.
Oh, God.
Because apparently, although his father had driven stick shift at some point in his life, it had been quite some time
Little
since
rusty?
that had happened, and they were going up a hill, and then they were going down the hill, and they stopped short of going over a cliff. And this is a story that is recounted all the time. So I do understand that these things can happen, but yeah, it is a very difficult conversation and decision. When my grandmother, Big Mama, got to be up in age, and we realized that she was going to need more help, she was going to live with us, and then also kind of split the time with my aunt, who didn't live too far away. And that was a long and arduous process to get her to commit to living X amount of days. She wouldn't even do like fully. So she kept her home until she passed away.
Wow. That's a
So-
very big sense of pride.
Yeah,
of course.
because I mean, how do you tell someone who my grandfather passed away when my mother was in college, so she had been living alone for 40 years at that
Right.
point. So yeah, it is very difficult.
You think about how people, just like change. If somebody, and you understand if somebody's like, I have to move to Boston for 6 months for my job, and they're like, I can't leave. I'm here. Imagine doing that not in the prime of your working years, but at the tail end of your life, where your entire life is tied to this area, but this specific house. All those rooms have so many memories of how my granddaughter Erica, who was in a crib over there crying her eyes out, is now on TV. All those memories
I was on
are in
TV
that
too.
house. Yes.
Yep.
Did you and Erica grow up in the same house?
No.
Okay.
Sorry.
I could just see how it's difficult. I mean, you took a steak and drove it through the heart of that story.
Yeah.
It was a very
Tori will always come through with some little sister energy.
Totally.
She will always come through with some little sister
the baby.
energy.
I was always the baby. I totally. I do want to end this segment with a joke. Can I give a pepper joke?
Yes, please.
Do you guys want to hear it?
Sure.
Everybody.
We don't really want to.
Yeah, you do. Listen, are you ready? What did the nosy pepper say or do? Damn it. What did the nosy pepper do? He's jalapeno business.
It should be, why don't you want to hang with the nosy pepper?
The setup was wrong. I agree. He's jalapeno business. Okay.
It's still pretty good.
It's not bad.
Okay.
It's
The
better than
punchline
my
is
normal
okay.
joke.
So we're encouraging this now?
No, I'm just.
She sold it at
Thank
the
you,
end.
EPMD. Okay.
EPMD. Did you know it's a rap group?
It is?
Yes. A famous one.
So when we mention MD, we should say EPMD and then play some music.
Well, we can't because we don't have
then,
copyright.
Never mind.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, we definitely should not.
Okay, never
Maybe
mind.
we should make Tori executive producer. Let's play copyrighted music the whole show.
I can
right.
always tell when you do because let me tell you, I'm the one who checks the growth of the YouTube,
Yes.
and I'm like, wait a minute, there's something wrong with this video. Who did it? Like,
They just
so you know.
it just
Yeah.
drops. Okay.
Ooh, this got
Yeah.
spicier.
Yeah, it does. It's,
Oh, it's
Yeah.
a bite.
Tori, when I
Hits the
didn't take a
throat.
sip the first time I got it to my nose because it like overwhelmed me. Like when
Yeah.
you get wasabi and you're like, oh no,
Yeah,
this is
wow.
bad. I'm at dinner. Okay.
Oh my God.
I have to ask you guys this. This is a little silly, but there was video of a hen on the loose in front of a Buffalo Wild Wings. People were saying that the hen looked confused. I don't know what other look hens have.
They do look generally confused. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that hen was visiting like
Her friends?
yeah, basically it's like a cemetery.
Oh my God.
You know,
But you're assuming that was a good hen. What if he's showing up his friends like, oh, guess who's still here kicking it? What's it
Ooh,
like
a
in there,
revenge
buddy?
strut.
Yeah.
A revenge hen.
well,
A
if I was
revenge.
a hen and I was gonna show up at any wing joint, I would definitely choose BW3s.
Whoa.
Okay.
I love BW3s. Those mango habanero wings are yes.
I don't know.
Chef's kiss.
I don't like mango.
Mango's in
Why?
everything.
Flavoring,
now.
I
It's in
know.
Everything.
It's just like
I love mango. It's
I
like
don't like
mango?
these.
I love mango.
I don't know. I just like every time I have a mango, Michael Dean, or like a cantaloupe or a melon, I'm
no,
like,
those are different.
all right.
No, mangoes are way better than a cantaloupe. Cantaloupe goes like this, huh? Mango's like huzzah. It seriously.
Do you think
is.
so?
There's more.
I do
flavor.
appreciate a mango, but I also grew up on the west side of Chicago where we would just like buy one on a corner and
Yeah.
then eat it like you just peel the top and eat it.
Mm-hmm.
So I do love mango.
And I eat dried mango with chili. Do you have that on it? It's really delicious.
Like chili flakes?
Yeah, it's like no hot chili powder.
Yeah,
It's a
chili
good-
flakes.
Like tahini.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
Not chili flakes.
But it's good when it's dried too.
Yeah, I do love
I'm saying dried mango with chili.
But not
on it.
candy
That's
dried mango. Just
I
the
think
raw
it's a
dried mango.
Filipino.
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
It's
Yeah,
a
we're talking
Filipino
about the thing
snack.
that you don't like, so you don't know
Yeah,
anything
right.
You know
about.
the other mango
Right.
I like?
You're saying mango. Go
From
ahead.
Saturday Night Live. Do you remember?
That was real. That was really funny. Chris Kattan.
Yeah.
That was funny. You know what, he auditioned with that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he did. Where he gets up on the table and eats the apple.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like half monkey, I think.
Yeah, it's a very weird character.
Yeah, I don't know if you could do that now.
Well, it's just like I think about that a lot
Yeah.
with any kind of, if you look at a movie like Ace Ventura, if you look at like, when I was kind of coming up listening to hip hop, there were groups that had like, there was an album, I listened to it over and over again when I was working for the cruise ships. It was these young black kids, they called themselves the Boogie Monsters, and they made a whole album that was basically sounding like they were underwater. And I'm wondering, like, will we lose things being experimental because people will tear it apart before they go, oh, I kind of like this. I don't know.
No,
Like,
I
do you think
think-
Ace Ventura could be made today? Like a goofy, nonsensical
there's
movie?
an audience
Brothers
for
around.
everyone, and then also with the rise of social media, like critics, which people rely on more than people who have been doing this forever. That there's a lane for everyone. That's why this time is very exciting, because if you create something, I'm not saying your audience is going to be of millions, but you will get an audience, even if it's just one, because that's how I started my YouTube. So thanks, Mom.
You did it. You did it. Let me ask you a harder question, Erica. I know that your mom has always supported you. Tori, I know your folks supported you.
Oh, yeah.
When do you tell somebody that you love that this might not be working? Because I heard something about show business I thought was really interesting, and it said it's the only business that you can die from positive comments, because no producer wants to tell the next Whitney Houston she can't sing. So instead, even if they don't think you're good enough, they'll be like, keep coming back next year. To the point where, like, at some point, somebody that loves you has to be like, Erica, maybe singing, Al, maybe comedy, Tori, maybe improv is not for you.
Yeah,
Like,
I
when would that-
actually
have
had
you
to
ever
do
done-
this. Yes, I had to do this with a young person in my life. And
Like you're Simon Cowelling them.
No, I didn't Simon Cowell. I'm more Paula Abdul with Simon Cowell intentions. Because this person was very passionate about what they did. And it was a sport. And as we know, there is a process to go professional. And he had missed some major steps in this process, and I was trying to prepare him for the possible pivots that I thought was coming and eventually did. And so, you know, especially when someone's chasing a dream, and the way that I had the conversation wasn't so much like you aren't good enough. Like
LeBron
it
James.
was never that. Sorry.
No, I said LeBron James. Yeah. Sat him down.
Yeah, like it wasn't that he didn't. I didn't want to be like, you aren't good enough to go pro. What I said was, I think that you're missing some of the steps that people who are in the position to go pro are doing. And then I explained that basically he had been staying with us, and he had never gone to practice.
Ooh, Lord.
He had never. And I said, what do you think these people who you're saying are like your peers are doing during these days versus what you're doing? Because I think that's the conversation too. It's like, it's one thing to have a dream, and I think that everyone should be able to dream, and there should be people who support you in your dream. But when you aren't that level of competitive and the people around you are, then that diminishes your dream and your ability to get there as much as you not necessarily being the greatest of all
How
time.
did this person receive it?
Um,
And how did that affect your relationship moving forward?
Well, I think that he didn't
Yeah.
receive it. But then it also was like a rude, not a rude awakening, but kind of an awakening, because it's a difference between being a teenager and giving that type of encouragement and advice, and being a grown man and giving that type of encouragement and advice. And what he needed to understand was that there was going to be a timeline on what type of support he was going to receive.
Right.
And he was eligible for, because after you get to be a certain age, you are on your own.
Right.
And that's for your own survival. So it was a difficult conversation for me to give, but clearly not difficult for him to receive, because he didn't receive it.
But maybe he might have walked with it, and like, I think there's a point where, you know, I don't think if you told anybody, like, after the show, I'm gonna tell Tori to leave the business, but I don't think she will immediately. But I want the weeks to drag on. She's like, maybe Al's right, and then she'll be selling Colgate dictionaries. And then,
Not the
all
Colgate.
right, Tori, we are gonna get to one of your favorite segments.
Yes.
This is Unpopular Opinion.
Wait, you have to say unpopular opinions.
Unpopular opinion. I like saying that.
That was good, Al.
All right, Tori, this first one's for you. Erica, you chime in.
Okay.
Comfort zones are just personal prisons we don't realize we're in.
What's a comfort zone?
Like
Like when you say, this is out of my comfort zone.
Oh, yes. And I have a quote for you. Pema Chodron, my favorite Buddhist teacher. Fear is on the other side of the truth. Wait, is that the quote?
Wait, what?
Wait, hold on.
Truth is on the other side of fear.
Yeah, I think.
How did
that's
you
it.
do this?
Or I think it's I don't really remember, but sometimes you have to understand that getting out of your comfort zone, it will break you free into a whole new universe.
Always.
Yeah, and I think that that's a great point, actually. I'd agree with this. Comfort zones will keep you safe, will keep you not living, and will keep you not having adventures and not living to your full potential. And to be honest with you, fear is on the other side of the truth. Is that it? It's not that. It's important to go to places that scare you. That's a very vital part of living and being human.
I would agree with everything other than comfort zones keep you safe. I think comfort zones are some of the most dangerous zones.
I think they make you feel like you're safe. Maybe that's a better way of saying it. That's a good point.
Meanwhile, not growing, not expanding.
Yes, right. Staying
Yeah,
same,
and it
same.
makes you unsafe because if you get comfortable in your comfort zone, there's no room for growth.
Yeah.
And without growth, there's no survival.
I agree. I completely agree with this person. What do you think,
Okay.
Al?
I mean,
I think that's a great point.
I don't know. I think we're assuming that everybody wants to grow. And I think some people are happy with I get off work, I come home, I have 2 moon tuckies.
It's a Montucky. I don't know why you're saying
I watch back-to-back Friends. I know all the words.
Mm-hmm. I like routine.
Yes, I take my 9th pee of the night.
Oh, God.
And
what's wrong with this person's bladder?
They're drinking a lot of moon tucky.
Okay.
And they get ready for bed and they fall asleep watching a baseball game. And I don't know if that person being out of their comfort zone for them, I think everybody in the studio is probably of the opposite side, but I think there's a lot of people on the planet that are just like, I'm good here, bro. I'm comfortable here.
Well, yeah, but also you have to consider, and the reason why I say it doesn't keep you safe is that's great. But let's say you have a 9-to-5 making $50,000 a year. And as the economy changes and the cost of living goes up and you're still making that $50,000 a year, then you aren't like going to get another gig. Like there's no idea of like a gig economy in order to keep up with the demands of what's happening to this country. So I think that by getting into those types of places, unless you have a paid off mortgage, you have very low costs in terms of your taxes, like your car, you don't need one, then that's fine. But if you don't have those types of, and I will say luxuries because a paid off mortgage and a car is a luxury, then it keeps you very unsafe.
I think that guy would just say, can you hand me another moon tucky?
Okay.
It's not the beer's name.
All right. I like this one. Unpopular opinion.
Popular opinion.
Okay. Most wind chimes are a public nuisance
Yes.
and should be musically certified before sale.
I agree.
I disagree.
No, the notes
Okay,
have
let me
to
hear.
be.
Let me
I
hear
disagree.
Tori first.
Okay, the notes have to be right. I can't have a high C every time the wind blows. It has to be a low boom, 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 boom.
You want a low one?
Yeah, or something where mum. It cannot be a high tinny cheap wind chime, or else you're gonna get a headache the whole time.
Okay, I disagree, and the reason why is because I got my first wind chime last year.
Mazel.
Our co-host Sam Shocker gave it to me after Spike passed away.
Beautiful.
Oh, okay.
And when I say to you, because every time it chimes, it's supposed to be a message from Spike. It could be the windiest day and that thing will not move. It will be the stillest day and all of a sudden
Judy has one.
it starts going
Yeah.
out of control. And oftentimes when I'm making decisions, like almost like a confirmation.
I have one with Judy. I totally agree
Yeah.
with you. But the sound has to be musically, what did he say, certified? It does, because again, those cheap little wind chimes are not, they're not good. It doesn't work.
What
for
does
the
a
soul.
high-end wind chime cost?
Like a good $100-something, right, Michael Dean?
What?
No, I'm saying like a good tone in a wind chime, 50 to 100. 30 to 50.
Interesting.
Yeah, you just
Give
making
us
up
another
wind-
one.
Okay.
There's like $600 wind
See,
chimes.
I'm saying they
Get
can
out of here.
Yeah.
What's like the Amazon price? What's the Amazon favorite price?
Okay, we're going to Amazon and
I'm just saying
Okay,
you can get
well-
a real cheap tinny one.
While Michael Dean looks that up, this one's interesting. The skip intro button is ruining TV shows.
Oh, wow. And attention spans.
What do you think about that?
We used to have to sit and talk about Breaking Bad when it was going on and discuss it while we saw the opening. Maybe that's
I like when the opening changes. The Wire had the same song but sung in different genres. Like
Right.
it'd be blues,
Outlander
rock.
too.
Like I can't. Yeah, every season had a different tone. Same words though.
Interesting.
That's
Now
a
there's
great
certain
point.
shows that I will skip intro. White Lotus, definitely skip the intro.
really not the
Because
what?
yeah, I mean, because you get the end of it by skipping the intro.
Yeah, you got
like,
what?
at the end, and then but then there's certain shows where they're doing recaps of last week's episode,
Totally.
and I definitely want to make sure I didn't miss anything,
Right.
so I won't skip the intro on that. So if you are a television producer, just remember that to get people to watch your intro.
See,
you
but
gotta
you're gonna
do a
make it so you
recap.
don't put any investment into the introduction.
Some
White
intros-
Lotus had a different intro than they did last season. I
Yeah.
liked it. I
I
thought it was
Yeah,
too.
but after the first episode, I got it.
there's more to see.
And no, there isn't.
Yeah, there is. Each animal has it holding something, and that means something in each episode. I do think it means something. But you know what I like is like intros that they go to a real cool like Severance had a really cool intro.
Yeah, I love that.
And I think there should be an award for intros in the Emmys.
I
What's
could.
your best intro that you guys remember of a TV show?
It's so weird. I was thinking about this weekend before my late show. Like, why don't they really have songs?
Yeah.
Because like in the 80s, like whether it was like Who's the Boss?
Yeah, in the
Or-
90s.
Yeah,
too.
in the night, like there was like a song. Now the world don't move
Do-
to the
Oh,
beat.
there
of just-
is an Emmy.
yeah.
For best intro?
Yeah, for outstanding main title design.
Oh, that's fantastic. Okay, thank you for
Sorry.
And I would argue.
that. The Paperboy.
Here is my unpopular opinion.
Evening TV. Sorry, that's Full House.
That's Full House. Oh yeah.
Coming around the bend, everywhere you look.
No, it's good. Here's my unpopular opinion. The rap song that people know most in the general public,
Will Smith.
Fresh
Will
Prince
Smith.
of Bel-Air.
Yeah, for sure.
I would argue that you could make
100%.
an argument. I would be if somebody didn't know any of that. They're like, I don't know what you're talking about. That would be very strange to me. I don't
agree.
care what your profile is. Like
And you would
everybody
know
kind
it's
of
DJ Jazzy Jeff.
yes.
I thought he was giving LL Cool J.
Yeah, you do look cool. You really do look cool.
Thank you. Shout
Okay.
out. All right, let's do one more. And
This is coming from Dolly Madison.
We got one more. Okay, this one's a little weird, but I have an anecdote for it. The unpopular opinion is that all obituaries should list the cause of death.
Oh, I am very
What?
interested. I'm very interested.
Talk to me.
I want to know how they died.
I think that's honest.
I'm just telling you.
weird.
Maybe it's
You're
like
talking about like a
Jewish-
public obituary?
Yeah.
I do. Like as a Jew, I want to know.
It's
I think
nobody's business unless the
No.
people.
It's in the
Jews wanna
newspaper,
know.
buddy.
Yeah, but
Jews
it's on
wanna
a
know.
need to know. Yeah, because it's a requirement to publicly announce the death of someone.
I really
Isn't
like
it?
it. Because
Yes.
I'll Google
Yes,
it.
it's requirement.
I'll
a
Google it.
What are they going to do if you don't do it?
Yeah, I don't
Well,
know.
no, you don't have to put it in the newspaper, but it does have to go. Like it has to be a matter of public record.
Okay.
So like local papers and stuff will publish the obituary from the public record.
I just touched my eye with a jalapeno.
Oh, great! I told you not to do that.
I
told
waiting
you
for that to
not
Sorry,
to
Erica.
do that.
I just did it.
Oh my
I just want to
God.
be able to add this in at the end, and because I still have the picture. But years ago, when my grandparents were still alive, they had moved out of their home, kind of like we were talking about, into like a assisted living apartment, but it was more like independent. And they had their holiday party, and I went there. I was probably in college at the time, and the people that ran this probably 65 plus apartment complex got some gifts for the residents, which is great, and they wrapped them in obituary paper.
Read the room.
The
dude.
newspaper. They
Read
wrapped
the
it in obituary paper. And that was like when people first started taking phone pics. I was like, click. It was like my third picture ever. But yes, I was like, what are y'all doing?
The irony, man.
Yes, but okay, we are going to tend to Tori's eye.
I don't even know how that happened. You
yes,
didn't
you
even touch
do,
it.
Erica.
How did you touch
I
it?
don't know. I think I touched it in the drink.
Why are you touching the
I'm sorry,
inside
it's
of your
very itchy.
drink?
It's itchy. I don't know. I think I was just seeing it.
You put your finger in the drink.
Somehow I got it on there.
But what are you looking at now?
Just
That's the reason why I requested a fork and then I put it in your drink.
Yeah, well.
That was like 100% avoidable.
Real baby energy. I know.
Yeah. Well, we are going to end the show like we always do with Tori double fisting beer and wine, which is how the family reunions usually end. Just like, mama's double fisting again.
Yeah.
All
And
right.
then the cha-cha slide.
Yes. And
One
with
hop.
that, guys, I've been Al Jackson for Erica Cobb, Tori double fisting showman. Night Owls, I'd like to say,
Hoot hoot.
yes.